then a weird thing happens in the interrogation where they want him to say more, but he's suddenly coy. And now he doesn't want to like give it up. And there's a moment in the investigation, this is from July of 2012, where he kind of objects to giving them any more. And it's sort of odd. Please explain this to me. It's SOT 60.
I just think at this point, I'm kind of feel like I'm in a position where I've given you a certain amount of information. None of it has, or I shouldn't say none of it. About half of what I thought we had an understanding on, from the very beginning, hasn't worked out in my favor. Granted, some things haven't worked out in your favor, but I just think at this point, I just don't see what incentive I have to tell you anything else.
What does he mean it hasn't worked out in my favor?
He wanted the death penalty and he wanted it really fast.
Well, how long was this series of interviews?
So they started March, April, and they went till about, he really began shutting down, I'm going to say, right around there. July, August. He tried to kill himself in prison and it wasn't successful. And so there's so much secrecy surrounding this case, and I have theories as to why. It's not just about a federal prosecutor who is too big for his britches. It's not that. But Jeff Bell he would go over every day to the jail rather, to see. They didn't have anything remotely secure enough for a guy like this. He never should have been up there. He should have been in a supermax.
Yeah.
He went over there every day to see if Israel wanted to talk every day, and so Israel almost escaped from court, very Ted Bundy-like. Remember when Ted Bundy?
Yes.
Okay. This footage has been scrubbed from the internet. Fox had the footage from inside the courtroom. Keys, shackled, ankles, wrists. Samantha's father is in the courtroom. Everyone's in the courtroom. Keys suddenly, in the middle of the hearing, leaps up out of his chair. He's out of his shackles. And he's jumping, like, what do you call those rows? I think of them as pews from church, but in a courthouse, the rows. He's jumping from like benches, top to top to top to top before like he's tased. He's jumped and he's tased. He almost got away. He was tased. He seemed to very much enjoy the tasing. But how did he do it? How did he do it? Well, he would get a little baggy lunch every day before going over to court. And he took the cellophane that wrapped the sandwich, and he fashioned little keys out of that thing, and he used it to
Come on.
Yes. And so Jeff would go over there and he would be like, stop giving this guy anything. Take away his shoelaces. Why does he have subscriptions to magazines like Outside Adventurer? What's going on in here? They could never get an answer. He
was just so clever. He fooled everybody. That's an advantage, right? When you're a killer who's very smart and you're smarter than your jailers.
Yeah.
And maybe than the cops, some of them.
Yeah.
So notwithstanding his lamentation that he wasn't getting put to death fast enough, he hadn't had a trial or anything. It was, I don't know how he thought the system worked. They were figuring out that he was responsible for more than just those 3 murders.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
The other thing that I'm remembering now that was stalling him up. This is like the lawyer in you will appreciate. So his defender, his public defender, is this guy named Rich Kirtner, who is a great lawyer. He's also very anti-death penalty.
So there's a man who enters this story named Rich Kirtner. What's his story?
So he's assigned to Keys the moment Keys is arrested. He is Keys's public defender. Okay, Keys can't afford a lawyer, so he says, because all of his cash is tied up in kill kits all over the United States, you know? So anyway, Rich takes this case, and Rich is way into this case. And I talked to Rich at his office in Anchorage, and he was like, I really liked Israel.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Rich,
I said,
you got to get out more.
Seriously. He's like, I liked him. But he would not, the minute Keys said, I want the death penalty, Rich was like, well, I'm not arguing for that because I'm anti-death penalty and I won't do it. And so now he's got a court-appointed lawyer that he can't get out from under, who won't advocate for what he wants. And the FBI is trying to get him what he wants, but it's not moving that quickly. And they can't get any traction anywhere.
Okay. But they do figure out it's more than these three.
Oh, yeah.
So how did they do that?
They asked him, they said, how many people did you kill? They just asked him. And he said, well, less than 12. And Steve Payne always thought that was a weird number.
Yeah.
Because most people go by 5s and 10s, right? Like you round up to a 5 or a 10.
What does that even mean? Like less than 12?
That's a great point, right? Like what does that mean? But Steve took it to mean 12, like 11 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I talked to people on the case who think it was way more than that. And I definitely think it was way more than that.
And do we know who they are? Like you mentioned something in Florida.
We know some of them. There are some cold cases I lay out in the book that I definitely believe are the work of Keyes. Absolutely. A 12-year-old Paralympian in Colville, Washington, where Keyes lived. Very, very small town. Went missing when Keyes was a very young man.
Mm-hmm. He was like 14 and this girl was 12?
19.
Okay.
Maybe 19. Her body was later found with her feet, her prosthetic feet were far away from her remains, but she was seen. She knew him. So
it's not true that he didn't kill children, to your point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there was another 12-year-old girl who was murdered with her mother. And I think that was Keyes as well, in Colville as well. There's a man named Jimmy Tidwell who went missing in Texas after Samantha was taken, while Keyes was still on the loose. I go into all of the evidence as to Jeff Bell knows it's Jimmy too. He won't say it publicly, but we talked about it. After the book came out, after American Predator came out, I got an email from a woman who said, your book came to me through a circuitous route. I am Jimmy Tidwell's niece. We have never been able to get an answer from either local law enforcement or the FBI, but now we know what happened to him, so thank you.
Wow.
There is a very famous case I'm obsessed with in Florida called the Boca murders. There was a man in Boca Raton who was targeting women at the mall, upscale luxury mall, broad daylight. First victim, she is going to her vehicle with her toddler son, and she's loading up the back of the car. Honestly, Megyn, after writing this book, I don't move through the world the same way at all. Like I will never, my head is on a swivel in like a garage. He comes up to her and he's got a gun and he's like, get in the back of the car, get your kid in the back of the car, takes the car, starts driving them all over.
Never do it, by the way, to the listening audience.
Never let them take you to a second location.
And that would qualify as a second location, like from the parking lot into your car to go someplace. Run. You have a much better chance of surviving. He's probably not going to shoot you. He's probably
Run
not.
and scream.
The difficult victims, they just kind of let them go. But I'd rather somebody take a shot at me while I'm serpentining away than have me in the car.
You know, though, what the thing is, and he understood the psychology of this. If you are like the home invasion with the couriers, you know, when you're awoken, startled in the middle of the night, and it's like, it takes you a minute to be like, am I awake?
Yes.
You know, like
Yeah.
he's capitalizing on those 5 seconds of like orienting yourself.
Yeah.
And so then who's going to believe a stranger's in your house on top, you know?
I know.
So he's this woman with her little child.
Don't comply.
He's got his gun in her back and he's like, get in the car. It's like she probably couldn't even take that minute
Totally.
to go, you know?
Oh, I don't judge her.
Oh,
one
I know
bit.
you're not. I
But
know
for the
that.
people listening,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
don't comply.
You're absolutely
Run.
right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and you do it, especially if you have a child with you. You're like, I'll do anything to protect my child. But that thing is to run away.
Yes.
That's what that thing is.
Yeah. Yeah. So they get in the car and he starts driving out and all around Boca Raton, and she is terrified and her child begins to cry, and she's worried that the crying is going to just infuriate him further, and she just keeps talking to him. She just keeps talking. Samantha tried this too. It was really smart. Humanize yourself. You don't want to be doing this, right? Like, we can end this. Like, you know, he does let them go. He lets them go. He drives them back and he lets them go. The other victims weren't so lucky. Another mother and daughter were found in that mall, tied up in their car, zip ties. there was a woman who was also, the witnesses saw this happen. This is how she was discovered. She was driving a Jeep. A very well-to-do woman, married, middle-aged, and the Jeep just starts going just erratically. It's like slowing down, but it's going erratically. And then the driver's side door opens and she falls out. So that means there's someone in the passenger side who pushed her out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
So when the police and FBI arrived at the scene at the mall with the woman and her 8-year-old daughter who were tied up and murdered, they were like, this is as unique as a fingerprint, this MO, and it matches Keyes. Now, Jane Doe, the woman who survived with her toddler, spoke to Dateline. She has never given her real identity.
We have a little bit of that in Sub 55. Let's watch.
I put my son in first. I strap him in his car seat.
He's in back?
Yeah, in the back. Then I go to the back of the truck and I put the stroller in, shut the gate, and start walking to the front. Mama, mama. And I could tell, like, he's worried or scared. That's when I look in to see if he's okay, and there's a guy sitting there.
A guy in a floppy hat, wraparound shades, sitting in her SUV right next to her 2-year-old. That moment, how terrifying is that?
I was in shock at that moment. And I just stood there, and the guy said, get in the car. And I was frozen. And when he said, get in the car, for the second time, that's when I noticed the gun.
The gun is pointed at her son.
I see him pull out a pair of handcuffs. He handcuffs my wrists behind my back, and he pulls out a bag of zip ties. And he zip ties my ankles together, and then zip ties my neck to the headrest. And he takes out a pair of darkened sunglasses with duct tape, I'm guessing, and puts them on my eyes. So now I'm blindfolded.
Speak to me of terror.
I started losing it, and I started choking myself because the zip tie was so tight, couldn't breathe, and gagging and crying, and I was just hysterical.
Zip tied her neck to the headrest? That is disconcerting. I mean, I can't imagine being able to function with anything like your full brain power when you're in that position.
No, and actually, I had that detail wrong. He was in the car. He got in the car before she knew, and her kid was crying and going, "Mommy, mommy." But that was Keyes' MO, and the sketch that she worked up. They showed a little bit of the police sketch that she worked up of her abductor, her and her child's abductor. It's a dead ringer for Israel Keyes.
It's amazing he let her go. Every once in a while, something comes along that reminds us of the power of storytelling. Something bold, meaningful, and grounded in faith. The Pendragon Cycle, Rise of the Merlin, is a new 7-part series from the Daily Wire based on the novels by Stephen R. Lawhead. In the series, as pagan gods fall silent and empires collapse, one man's faith lights the spark of a civilization reborn. It's a story about courage, order, and moral clarity. It's the kind of story Hollywood does not make anymore. Through blood, faith, and sacrifice, Merlin becomes the bridge between myth and history and shapes the destiny of kings. The Pendragon Cycle, Rise of the Merlin, premieres exclusively on Daily Wire Plus on January 22nd, 2026. Watch the new trailer now at pendragonseries.com. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.